Jenkins, three, right wing to win it. He made it. He made the three from the right wing.
The long desperation by Dagger. Oh,
This is Clint Switzer for Rise and Fire Hoops Talk, and my quick take today is going to be focused on the University of Missouri basketball program and the virtual dumpster fire that it has become over the past several years, and how that hits especially close to home for me growing up as such a huge fan. Some of my earliest sports memories include my dad driving us to the Hearn Center on some freezing cold January Saturday to watch Missouri play Colorado, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and how difficult it was to get a ticket. I remember walking around freezing cold outside the Hearn Center just hoping someone would cough up a ticket for a reasonable price just so we could sit up in the D level and watch my favorite players, like Anthony Peeler, Melvin Booker, Kelly Thames, Jason Sutherland, so many greats. I mean, hearing stories of John Sunvold, Steve Stepanovich, John Brown, Derek Chivas. Norm Stewart created such a culture and was such a source of pride to the state of Missouri, and the basketball program was always so strong for so many years when Coach Stewart was here, and it was really my foundation for my love of sports. And I remember driving around listening to Missouri beat Illinois in 3 overtimes in 1993, and that great 93-94 team that went on to the Elite Eight, and what a foundation that was, and how much pride Missouri fans had in that product, and how 13,300 fans would routinely pack the Hearn Center. And I fast forward to today, and I just can't help but frown. I can't help but have a dose of holiday Christmas time coal when thinking about where this program has dropped to. The current team sits at 5-6, coming off a 4th straight loss to the University of Illinois in the annual bragging rights game. Again, a game that used to mean so much. It used to be one of my favorite sporting events, driving to St. Louis on Christmas break, just praying to God that someone would, I could get a ticket for less than $100 to sit up in the rafters, usually to watch Missouri lose that game. We lost 9 straight in the series, but what a competitive series it was. Great players, great coaches. The level and the depth that it has sank to. Before the game the other day, I think they had said Missouri had sold only 2,800 tickets to show up there to watch that game. Prior to that game, Missouri had 1,800 fans at Mizzou Arena, one of the finest on-campus college basketball facilities in the country. 1,800 fans showing up to watch Missouri lose, by the way, to Eastern Illinois. This team's already lost to North Carolina Central. Kim Anderson is 24-50, his all-time record here at the University of Missouri. A fine Division II head coach. He won a national championship at Central Missouri, but here at the Division I level, it is clearly not working. Norm Stewart has said himself, we should treat this like year one. And to that I say, absolutely not. We've seen 2.5 years of this mess already. The team has gone 3-15 in its first 2 years in conference play, and if you think it's going to be much better than that this year, you're grasping at straws at this point. To see this team winning any more than 10 or 11 games seems like a pipe dream. It's clear at this point that Kim Anderson and his staff have shown us no reason to think they're going to be able to recruit at a high enough level to make Missouri competitive over the long run. Now, perhaps there are a few young players on this roster, some role players that would be able to help shape this team going forward under a new coach. We've got, obviously, Frankie Hughes, or some young talent on this team that could be sprinkled around with better talent that a new coach is going to have to bring in, and that's where this starts. Obviously, at Missouri, you're never going to compete for one-and-dones. You're not going to be able to compete in recruiting with Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, and that's not what's expected. But what is expected is to be able to formulate a roster that's going to be competitive, especially in the SEC, which is not a good basketball conference right now. Obviously, the mess that Missouri basketball is in right now goes far beyond the arm of Kim Anderson, because a lot of talk about former athletic director Mike Alden sort of being a micromanager of the program and running off a coach like Mike Anderson, who had some success here, bringing in a Frank Haith who had a shady past. He did not properly vet him before bringing him in. Obviously, Haith had early success here, but did not build this program the right way. The way that a new coach that's coming in is going to have to try to do. And that's the main question right now amongst Missouri basketball fans, those that are left anyway. Is new athletic director Jim Sturck going to pull the plug on Kim Anderson in the middle of the season? Is it going to happen after the season? What kind of coach is he going to target? This hire for him is going to be huge, as it's going to determine a lot of the success that he's going to have in the future here at Missouri. It could be based on this hire, and that means, who do you go to? Where do you look? Do you look at someone that's already had past success but has sort of become a retread in the coaching industry, someone like a Kelvin Sampson? I don't think so. I think maybe you look at an up-and-comer, maybe you look at someone in a lesser program to try to come up and try to build your program the right way, someone like a Pat Kelsey from Winthrop. someone like that, you're going to have to take a chance. Sure, it's a chance, but you're going to have to do it. Maybe someone that's in your own conference already, like a Frank Martin, who's always talked glowingly about Missouri. That's a name that keeps surfacing, and someone that can bring some intensity, inject some life into this program that's much needed. An arena at the Mizzou Arena that's one of the best on-campus facilities in the country, but yet frequently men's basketball is being outdrawn by women's basketball and volleyball. That is an inherent problem, and that is a cultural problem here at the University of Missouri that's going to have to be fixed going forward. Now, Tiger fans, you're sort of just going to have to batten down the hatches and endure these next couple months of Missouri basketball, because likely it's not going to be pretty. But here's for better things on the horizon, and I want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment, leave some feedback, leave us a tweet at GASN Sports. Guys, I want to know, do you disagree? Do you think Kim Anderson, like Norm Stewart once said, that we do need to treat this as year one? Do you think he needs more time? Do you think he can build this going forward? I personally do not, but I would love to hear the argument otherwise. Guys, thanks a lot for watching, and here's for better times down the road to where we don't have to look at old Missouri basketball clips on YouTube to feel better about the program.